What if a single secret could change everything you thought you knew about your life? Richard Gere's latest film might just answer that. Imagine reuniting with a lost love, only to uncover a life-altering secret. Richard Gere takes you on this emotional roller coaster in the gripping new drama, Longing, by Xavi Gabazon. Daniel Bloch reunites with his former romantic partner Rachel after several decades apart, only to discover that after their breakup, she secretly gave birth to a son named Alan.
I never told you about him. 2 weeks ago, he had an accident. And the car veered off and he died.
Along the way, Daniel forms a deep connection with another woman, played by Diane Kruger, sparking a potential romantic storyline.
When it was over, he asked me to kiss him.
Did you?
With each new encounter, Daniel uncovers a deeper layer of this fascinating mystery, until he finds himself at a crossroads in his life.
I think the film deals a lot with how does our world, what we think, what we do, what we touch, how does that resonate in ways that we don't even think about? But later on, 20 years, things come home to roost.
And speaking of romance, did you know about Richard Gere's beautiful real-life love story with his wife Alejandra Silva? It's a story of romance, resilience, and the enduring power of love.
Age is but a number, right? Well, what do you think about marrying somebody that is 33 years younger than you, and then having 2 children at the age of 70? It sounds crazy, right? Not for Richard Gere, because that's exactly what he did. Richard Gere needs no introduction, but his wife, Alejandra Silva, might. She was born in 1983 and is a Spanish publicist and human rights activist. Silva is passionate about helping those who need it, and she isn't afraid to get down and dirty doing it. The Spanish activist worked with a non-profit, hoping to end homelessness in Spain, her home country. I've slept on the street to understand the struggle of the homeless. I'm not scared of rolling up my sleeves and diving into work. If I do something, I put 100% effort in. If I can't, I'd rather not do it. Third time seems to be the charm for Richard, as he has now met who he calls the love of his life. The pair met when Alejandra was a young girl, as Gere was a family friend of her dad's. The family lost touch with Gere before Silva was a teenager, but they reconnected by chance again in 2014, and she was now married with a son. The Pretty Woman actor was visiting Positano in Italy, and he went to the hotel he was going to stay at. Alejandra was managing the hotel at the time as her family owned it. A friend reintroduced them, and they both instantly felt a very strong connection. Speaking about how they first met, Alejandra said, "We looked at each other and felt a very strong connection. We couldn't stop looking at each other all night. And since then, we haven't been apart." She said that he sent her flowers until she agreed to go on a date with him, and it obviously worked. They began dating very quickly, even though the conditions weren't exactly ideal. When they started seeing each other, both Gere and Silva were going through divorces. Though this could have made their relationship more difficult, they used the shared experience as a way to bond and connect with one another. At the time, she was divorcing a businessman, and the pair share a son, Albert. Richard was on his second divorce. He first married Cindy Crawford in 1991, and the pair divorced in 1995. 7 years after the divorce from Crawford, he married Carrie Lowell, who is the mother of his first child, Homer. Richard seems to have met his match when he fell in love with Carrie. Out of all of his wives, the Law & Order star was the closest in age. She was only 12 years his junior. However, things turned ugly once Carrie filed for divorce in 2013. The pair quickly reached a joint custody agreement on their son, but their court battle was drawn out for 3 long years. Carrie fought hard for her former husband's $45 million fortune. They came to an agreement in 2016, but the terms of the settlement were never made public. By the time his divorce was finalized, Gere was already 2 years into a relationship with Alejandra, and even through the stress of a divorce, he had never been happier. Before their wedding in 2018, the activist changed her religion for Gere. Silva was raised Catholic and she converted to Buddhism. The Spanish beauty had said that even though she was born a Catholic, she feels as though Buddhism was already inside her. She believes in reincarnation, so that's why she thinks she was Buddhist before realizing it. Talk about committing to her partner. Speaking about changing her religion, she said, "I'll be eternally grateful to him, no doubt about it. Thanks to Buddhism, my life has changed." When the wedding day arrived, it was just as romantic and extravagant as you can imagine. They converted Richard's New York ranch into an Indian-inspired fairy tale. The couple imported tents from Jaipur and decorated the property with flowers and Tibetan flags. They made their grand arrival in a tuk-tuk to surprise their guests. When he first saw her in her dress, the actor said that she was the most spectacular woman he had ever seen. She revealed, "I couldn't stop smiling. I was very nervous. I said, 'I love you.' The ceremony was beautiful. We exchanged rings our children brought us. It was so moving." As you can tell, they are both hopeless romantics, and Gere is always singing to his wife. Whether it's someone else's love song or the one he wrote for her, the serenading never ends. He holds true to say that she has made him the happiest man in the universe. We can't get enough of this couple. Alejandra has shared that her husband is the most humble, sensitive, affectionate, attentive, funny, and generous man she has ever met. In 2019, the couple shocked fans as they revealed they were expecting a baby. At the time, Richard was 70 years old. They welcomed their son, Alexander, just a little less than a year after tying the knot. Then they shocked the fans when again, nearly 9 months after announcing the birth of the first son, they announced they were expecting again. The actor was almost 72 when they welcomed their second son, and the couple's hearts doubled in size. That took their total number of kids up to 4. Richard's first son was already in his early 20s at the time. After the birth of their first son, Alejandra felt grateful for all the blessings in her life. "I was a little lost, without light, and knowing him gave meaning to my life," she said. Many wondered about the repercussions of their children having a father that was so much older than the typical dad. This spurred a lot of talk about the couple's 33-year age gap. She then spoke about the age gap and their marriage in general. The Spanish beauty wasn't worried about having kids with Richard at his age, as she admitted that he has far more energy than she does, and he's much more active. She finds it hard to keep up with him most of the time. She said about the age gap, "In this life, it had to be like this. He has promised me at least 20 good years. He knows I love him madly. Our karma was attracted the moment we saw each other. I'm not ignoring our age difference and what it means to be with a Hollywood star, but when there's such a strong karmic energy, the problems disappear. That's why I've decided to stay in it." The age gap doesn't bother Alejandra at all because she without a doubt feels like the luckiest woman in the world. Silva also believes it helps that she isn't an actress or model because there's a greater sense of stability in being outside Hollywood. What united the pair most was their desire to help people who needed it. The activist is much more vocal about their relationship compared to the Primal Fear actor, but when he does speak about his wife, it is straight out of a movie. He loves that she's a great cook who makes the best salads in the world, that she meditates, is a vegetarian, and a great mother. He said, "I'm the happiest man in the universe. How could I not be? I'm married to a beautiful woman who is smart, sensitive, committed to helping people, who's fun, patient, who knows how to forgive, and has the touch of an angel. And she's also Spanish, the land of kings and queens. You can't get any better than that."